Did you know that law enforcement is searching for potentially 2 serial killers in Los Angeles and Las Vegas that are taking the lives of homeless people? Well, I wanted to make some predictions. This is happening simultaneously right now, and of course the articles are saying people experiencing homelessness. Whatever that even means. I'll bet if the perpetrator is anything other than a white man in either of these cases, we won't hear about it. If it does in fact turn out to be a white man in either case, they will do what they always do and go back to the old playbook. Of course, they'll find some obscure Facebook post or Instagram post where they reference something where they could be associated with a certain political ideology. They'll say things like, this is emblematic of the political climate in this country. The right is getting everybody agitated about the unhoused or people experiencing homelessness. They will say things like, this is why they need our protection. This is why we need to build them so many shelters. They are exposed. They are vulnerable. Thus justifying the fact that they're already spending billions upon billions of dollars of resources on all these people that are deciding to come here primarily for economic prosperity, instead of spending that money on the taxpayers and other American citizens that need it. Because even though it's highly improbable that this is some type of intentional act, these are the types of things that the media and the people that are really in charge of things co-opt to justify the money that they already have been squandering. I guarantee these cases will be used to justify even more money to migrants. But here's what's especially important to remember. Not everything is a thing. Crimes conducted against people that are living on the street or walking on the street, or for example, women of the street, women of the night, is not particularly uncommon in the history of crime. And this is for a multitude of reasons. First of all, they're already out there. You don't have to break into a building. You don't have to break into a home. You don't need to go into a residential neighborhood. They're out in the most commonly centralized areas, which means not only are they easy to access, but they're easy to get away from. Also, because of the sheer workload of law enforcement, lots of times these cases are not completely followed through on. Because there's no family. There might be nobody that even knows who they even are. They may not have any identification at all. They may ultimately become a John or a Jane Doe. And though obviously that's horrible, it makes the likelihood that you actually would get away with such a crime higher. If there's no family chirping law enforcement and telling them, hey, why have you not figured out this crime? Or if perhaps nobody even knows that they're missing in the first place, the likelihood that their case would be prioritized is much lower. So assuming that these acts were completely random, not only are they sitting ducks in very publicly accessible, obvious places with easy getaways and a low likelihood of the cases even being solved or anyone knowing that they're gone for a while, it's also possible that they're not random at all. Maybe they are. But maybe those people had some type of involvement in some illicit trade or some other event, and they just happened to be out there on the street experiencing homelessness, and that's where they happened to get them. We don't know that yet. Because as they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. So if there is a way to weave this narrative in such a way that justifies all of the existing resources, money, time, and effort that has been squandered on these migrants, they will do that. Because if you can find an emotional crisis to tether to an existing bureaucratic act, to change the public opinion of the people in your favor, that's what they'll do. They've already spent the millions and millions of dollars, the billions of dollars. They've already built the camps and created the shelters. They've already done it. So this would be a convenient way to justify and act like they had some type of foresight, while also continuing to advance what they were going to advance anyways moving forward. And should it turn out that these things had absolutely nothing to do with that, or there's no way to conveniently fit the narrative, they will quietly brush it under the rug to find the next crisis to co-opt.